I haven't played a Final Fantasy game before. Well, unless you count Final Fantasy VII Remake for 1 hour, and yeah, I don't count that. So what piqued my interest in trying FF16? Well, the combat really. I saw that they changed the combat from turn-based into full real-time combat. So I downloaded the demo. It's about 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours long. I would say about 2/3 of that demo are actually cutscenes. It's a bit heavy on cutscenes. There is some combat though, and there are a few boss fights as well, which is nice. And after you finish the demo, it does unlock a new extra mode that you can try, which is 100% combat basically. There are cutscenes, but you can skip them, which is nice. And they give you, new abilities. They unlock a lot of skills for you and supers that you can use, play around with. They really want you to test out the combat before you decide on buying the game, which is nice. So let's talk about the combat. Well, the combat is good. For a hack and slash, I think it's decent. You have your normal 4-hit light attack, and you have a special attack, basically a magic attack like a fireball. You can probably change that to different things, but you can do your light attack string and cancel it into your magic attack. You can unlock different attacks and skills, and you can master them so they become better. You have, thrust attacks, jumping attacks, plunging attacks. You have your precision dodge, or you have a dodge button, which feels responsive, which is good. But you also, if you dodge at the last second, you have a precision dodge, and that allows you to follow up with an instant attack afterwards, which is very cool. And you also have a super called an icon. It's like some sort of spectral, sort of magical attachment or something that you can call upon, and that does a lot of damage. You also have, each icon has different abilities. One will dash you in close, another one is a shield. The enemies also have, or the bosses also have, a stagger meter. It reminds me of the posture meter in Sekiro. It's underneath the health bar. If you deplete it to halfway, they stagger momentarily, and you can go in and do more damage. You also do increased damage while they're staggered, and then if you stagger them completely, you open them up to about over 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds of damage, and your damage is multiplied also, and you can just wail on them completely. And then after they've gotten up, it tells you how much damage you did in that stagger period. So that's a cool aspect of the combat. That's basically in boss fights or mini bosses. I will say that when there are many enemies on screen, like 15, 10, 20 enemies, the special effects and the particle effects, everything is just so much. It is just all over the place. I can't really tell what's happening. Just spam the attack buttons, enemy to enemy. There are red indicators around the edge of the screen to alert you of other enemies, but there are just so many of them. So yeah, it can get pretty hectic. I definitely prefer the one-on-one boss fights. And the story, the spectacle, yeah, I'm not sure about it. It did get better as the game went along. It is the first few hours of the game, so that's to be expected, and you can carry your progress over to the full game, which is nice. But yeah, the demo, this is my first Final Fantasy game, and I liked it. Well, I liked the demo anyway, the opening hours. I appreciate that you can skip cutscenes, though it's not something that I usually do if I'm interested in the story. But if it ends up being not very interesting, at least you can skip them. And the combat is solid, and that's the main thing that I was worried about. But yeah, I'll definitely be looking further into it. But yeah, thanks for listening, and take care.